Chosen one, do you feel as if you are lost in an endless labyrinth where every path leads to a dead end, where time seems frozen and every decision feels out of reach? You carry the invisible weight of ceaseless work, heavy responsibilities that tire your heart, and repetitive routines that make every day feel the same. The burden is so heavy that it makes you forget you are breathing, living, existing. Yet deep within, a shimmering light is guiding the way. Not the light of ledgers, contracts, or forced plans, but the pure light of your very soul. It is inviting you to follow, leading you out of this labyrinth, opening a completely different life, where all you need to do is go, explore, and awaken. Chapter 1. The Call of the Inner Self. Chosen one, do you feel a strange vibration rising within you, a restlessness that no amount of work, responsibilities, or repetitive routines can quiet? A small but persistent echo, like the heartbeat of your own soul, reminding you that you were not born to be bound in this place. You've tried to fill that emptiness, a new hobby, a different job in the same city, rearranging the furniture in a home that sometimes felt like an invisible cage. Yet the more you tried to fill the void, the clearer the call became, impossible to ignore. This is not dissatisfaction or boredom. This is an invitation from your true nature. Like a compass needle spinning wildly, no longer aligned to a single point on a map, but calibrating to the entire planet. Chosen one, you are entering the first phase of an inner deployment, a journey the universe has long prepared. This is not a vacation. It is not an escape. It is your mission. The world around you appears fractured, its light dimmed by fear, control, and spiritual amnesia. Certain points are weak, empty, where energy has been drained, sapping the vitality of the collective. Before you ever drew your first breath in this body, your soul signed up to be a mobile beacon, a living source of energy to awaken these dormant points. Chosen one, your job is not to build a fixed life. Your role is to spread the light. For years, you have been kept in a holding pattern. This is not punishment, it is preservation. You are unique, potent, and irreplaceable. Releasing you too soon would have diluted your power, exhausted you, and let your light unintentionally feed a decaying system. So the universe placed you in a state of spiritual lockdown. It made you feel stuck, isolated, overlooked. That loneliness was not rejection, it was sacred protection. Every delay, every pause was a period of sacred recharging. You were a high-powered instrument kept in a climate-controlled case until the symphony was ready to begin. And now the symphony has started. The first note was your internal awakening, a sudden, irreversible detachment from your old reality. Your work feels like a costume you are about to shed. Relationships that once defined you have passed their expiration. This is not carelessness or coldness. This is your spirit shedding its weight. Chosen one, the only things you need to carry are the lessons, the wisdom, and the unshakable knowing that you are guided. The universe is not just your travel agent. It is your sponsor, your security, and your logistics team. Your only task is to follow the call, pack your bag, and step out when the moment comes. It will not be a whisper. It will be a clear, divinely orchestrated sequence of events, as if a script were written just for you, because it was. This is the end of striving, and the beginning of flowing. Chosen one, all your life you have been taught to push, to climb, to force your way forward. Now you are invited to move with the flow, to be pulled, to be invited without force. Every conversation, every opportunity, every step is a signal. guiding you to the shores your soul longs for. This is not magic in the ordinary sense. This is spiritual physics. When your frequency aligns with your mission, the universe arranges itself to support you. Every resistance you felt was the friction of your soul fighting a life it was not meant to live. Now, ease, flow, is the sign you have merged with the current of your destiny. Chosen one, your only task is to trust that current, even when it leads you to shores you have never seen. You are not a tourist, you are an energy recalibrator, and your tour of duty has only just begun. Chapter 2. Leaving the Old Shore. Chosen one. There comes a moment on every soul's journey when the boat begins to tremble, not because of the wind, but because the anchor rope has reached its limit. You can feel something inside asking you to let go, yet your mind still clings to the familiar shore, the stable job, the comfortable house, the predictable relationships that feel safe. But the soul was never meant to stay docked. No one pours new wine into old wineskins. Mark 2:22. To welcome new light, you must release what no longer fits, old definitions, expired expectations, and sometimes even the version of yourself you thought you had to be. Imagine someone halfway through life, successful by every measure, yet every morning they wake up with a quiet heaviness. One day, they sell their big house, buy an old van, and start driving toward the horizon. People call them foolish, but in truth, they're finally coming home to themselves. Letting go is not abandonment, it is liberation. You're not running away from your life, you're stepping out of a completed chapter. Those who once walked beside you may not understand. They're still anchored where they need to be. Bless them and move on. Sometimes the universe will take something from you, a job, a person, a plan that once felt certain. But this isn't destruction, it's making room for grace. When one door closes, chosen one, don't pound on it. Step back, breathe, let the light reveal the next one. Every time you release an outdated attachment, a habit, or a fear, you're lifting one more anchor from the seabed of your being. You'll begin to feel lighter, freer, and the current of life will start carrying you toward your next destination. And when the boat finally drifts from the dock, you'll realize you haven't lost anything. You've simply been set free. Everything you need for the next chapter will appear in perfect timing, in divine order. Because, chosen one, your journey was never meant to be about staying. It was always about continuing the voyage. Chapter 3. The Bridge of Synchronicity. Chosen one, when the boat has already left the shore and the waves begin to carry you farther from the land you knew, there will come a strange moment, nothing left behind to hold on to, yet the path ahead still wrapped in mist. This is the in-between, a place with no map, only faith. Then, the coincidences begin to appear. A song plays just as you're thinking of someone. A book falls from the shelf, opening to the very page that holds your answer. A stranger says a few words and your heart whispers, "This is a sign." These are not random. They are the language of the universe, one that only the awakened can hear. Your steps are ordered, says the scripture. Not everything unfolds because of your effort, but because an unseen hand is arranging them in divine order. Imagine walking on a bridge made of light. The bridge doesn't appear all at once. Each plank forms only when you take another step. If you stop in fear, it fades away. But if you trust and move forward, the bridge lights up beneath your feet, guiding you through the fog. That is the essence of synchronicity, the sacred alignment of events. You don't need to know the whole path. You only need to vibrate at the frequency of faith. The universe doesn't speak in words, but through signs, sensations, coincidences, and the people sent at the perfect moment. Chosen one, when everything seems random, slow down, take a deep breath, Gently ask within, is this message meant for me? If your soul stirs even slightly, that's your answer. One day, when you look back, you'll realize every encounter, every detour, every loss was a piece of the puzzle leading you here. No step was meaningless. No delay was ever out of time. Each one was a shining stone on the bridge God laid out so your soul could cross and never be lost. And when you finally reach the other side, you will understand the bridge never led you somewhere new. It simply led you back to yourself. Chapter 4. The Art of Surrender. Chosen One. There was a time when you thought the spiritual path was all about effort, that to evolve, you had to strive, to do, to understand. But as you journeyed deeper, you began to see the divine doesn't arrive through control, but through allowing. It's not about giving up. It's surrendering with awareness. Imagine your soul as a small boat floating on a river of light. When you try to row against the current, the water resists you. But when you set the oars down, the river knows exactly where to take you. Not too fast, not too slow, but in perfect rhythm with the heartbeat of the universe. Once, the Bible whispered, "Be still and know that I am God." Psalm 46:10. Surrender is not laziness. It is active trust. It's the courage to be still when your soul says, wait. The courage to move when your mind screams, it's too dangerous. It's believing that even the silence of the universe is still an answer. Chosen One, notice this. When you tense up, everything grows heavy. But when you let go, everything begins to move again. That's because the energy of the universe always seeks harmony, and all you need to do is align yourself with its rhythm. One day, you'll see that every delay wasn't a denial, but divine timing. Every loss wasn't punishment, but release. Every person who left didn't abandon you. They simply completed their role in your journey. Sometimes the universe takes away what you love most, not to hurt you, but to free you from what you've outgrown. Like a potter gently tapping the clay pot, not to break it, but to test whether it's strong enough for the fire. Trust this process, Chosen One. You don't need to rush or to understand everything. Let life unfold, layer by layer, like a lotus blooming from within, not by force, but by light. And when you look back, you'll see how everything was perfectly arranged. The detours became the path. The heartbreaks became the openings. Every pain was the tender hand of the Creator, shaping your soul to fit the light He always intended for you. Chosen One, it's time to stop instructing the universe. Let the universe instruct you. Don't try to manifest what you want. Become the frequency that what you want can find. Surrender doesn't end the journey. It begins a new phase, one where you no longer live in the fear of what if, but in the quiet knowing that no matter what, I am guided. Because in the end, Chosen One, the art of surrender isn't about learning to let go. It's realizing that you were never truly holding anything at all. Chapter 5. When the night tests the light. Chosen One, there are nights when the light within you seems to fade. Not because it's gone, but because the darkness has drawn closer. And in that moment, you whisper to yourself, "Did I do something wrong?" But you didn't lose your way. Your light is simply being tested. For you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. James 1:3. Darkness does not come to destroy you. It comes to refine you, like fire purifying gold, like night giving birth to the dawn. Without the night, light would never know it shines. Imagine your soul as a candle in the wind. When the wind rises, you have two choices: to hide in fear, or to trust that your flame cannot be extinguished. The universe has a mysterious way of teaching growth, not through whispers, but through silence, not through gifts, but through emptiness, not through light, but through darkness. For it is the darkness that shows you what the light once hid, the fearful corners, the wounds left unattended. And when you finally find the courage to look within, you realize the darkness was never your enemy, but a teacher wearing black robes. One day you'll find yourself standing amid the very things that once made you tremble, the losses, the rejections, the lonely hours. But this time you won't ask why. You'll say, "Thank you, because through the night I learned how strong my light truly is." The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1:5. Chosen one, do not fear the days when your mind feels weary and your heart uncertain. It is not a sign of failure. It is proof that your soul is expanding. Every time you feel abandoned, remember, in the silence, God is still at work. Like a seed buried in the soil, unseen, but life is quietly forming within. And one morning, you will realize the darkness no longer frightens you, because you no longer try to escape it. You carry the light with you and simply walk through. Chosen one, the night does not come to extinguish the light. It comes to show you that you are the light. And when you understand this, darkness loses its power. All that remains is a deep stillness, where light and dark are no longer divided, but exist together in the fullness of the Creator. So when the night feels longest, remember, the flame within you still burns. It's just that God has cupped His hands around it to keep it safe until you are strong enough to shine through the storm.
Chapter 6: The Harvest of the Soul.
Chosen one. There is a season on the spiritual path that few speak about. The harvest. Not of crops, but of what your soul has sown through trials, loss, and faith. It is the moment when the seeds of belief you planted in tears finally bloom into peace. Those who sow in tears shall reap with songs of joy. From Psalms 126, verse 5. After the storms, you begin to see the light was never outside you, it was within all along. Every tear that once fell was not wasted. They watered the seeds of your awakening. Imagine someone who has walked through years of darkness, losing their job, their beloved, even faith in themselves. And then, one quiet morning, as the sun rises, they feel peace. Not because everything is perfect, but because their soul is. That is the silent harvest, when you no longer need to prove anything, only to live in the light you found. At this stage, the universe no longer tests you through pain, but through the responsibility of light. Can you keep your heart soft while the world stays cold? Can you use your strength to heal rather than to retaliate? Can you keep believing even when you no longer need a miracle? Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Matthew 5:16.
Chosen one, this is the time when your energy begins to radiate, not to prove, but to serve. The people who once hurt you now return, not to harm, but to learn from your forgiveness. The places that once broke you become the soil where you plant seeds for others. Do not be afraid when you find yourself revisiting old grounds. You're not returning to repeat, you're returning to complete. For when the soul reaches its season of harvest, it doesn't just receive, it begins to give. Chosen one, remember, a seed never forgets how to grow. It only waits for light and time. So do you. Nothing you've lived through was wasted. Every storm was the divine hand tilling the soil, so the harvest could bloom. When you stand in the field of peace within your heart, pause for a moment. Breathe deeply. Thank every wound, every fear, every person who passed through your life, for they were the ones who helped your soul expand. And as the sunset of this journey falls, you'll understand the harvest of the soul is not a reward. It is the natural result of a life lived in faith, love, and surrender. And let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. Galatians 6:9. Chosen one, your harvest has come. No need to chase, no need to search. Just open your heart and receive what has always been yours. Chapter 7. The Frequency of Home. Chosen one, finally, after all the journeys, all the challenges, and the light you have carried, you realize home is not a place on a map. It is not a house, an office, or familiar relationships. Home is a frequency, a vibration within you that you carry wherever you go. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Psalm 23:1. When you understand this, you feel that peace does not come from outside. It has always been within, in every breath, in every heartbeat. Imagine you have traveled your life from familiar ports to unknown seas. Every time you let go of a relationship, a job, a habit, it is a map being removed. And when there is nothing left to cling to, you are forced to find your anchor within yourself. A memorable moment comes when you realize you can be in the middle of a crowd or in the midst of a storm, yet inside you remain whole. You no longer depend on anyone or anything to feel peace. Even when everything outside is chaotic, you keep your own rhythm, calm, steady, unshakable. This is the strongest emotional touch point, realizing you have always been complete, that all those fears of having no support were illusions. You look back at losses and failures and smile. They once scared you, but now they are stepping stones guiding you inward. In reality, you are not alone in this experience. Those around you, who appear stable, are also searching for the home within. This creates a moment of empathy. Everyone has felt lonely, uncertain, or lost. But when you find your internal frequency, you become a living lighthouse, your light guiding others. A subtle twist comes when you realize your journey does not end when you find this frequency. On the contrary, it opens a new form of mission, to share peace and wholeness. You go to places of chaos, and simply by being present, you plant seeds of trust and calm. No words need to be spoken, no action needs to be forced, you just are, and your frequency spreads. Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Matthew 5:16.
From now on, you no longer search for light outside. You are the light. Every person you meet, every place you pass through, is illuminated by the frequency you emit. If it were you, you would feel a deep connection in this moment. Everyone has felt lost, doubted themselves, and sought home externally. But hearing this story, you realize true home is inside, and you have carried it with you all along. Finally, chosen one, that stillness is not the end. It is a new beginning, a life no longer about searching, but about radiating. Every step you take from now on is proof of freedom, completeness, and peace. You step into the world not to find anything, but to carry home with you, and the world will recognize the frequency within you is strong enough to illuminate wherever you go. If you feel this frequency within you, comment 77 to mark your journey, and subscribe to continue walking this path with us.